Oh, we're on. Hi. Good morning, everybody. It's another Saturday. Welcome to episode 12 of the Best News Ever podcast. My name is Sam O.
And my name is Cammille. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Sis Sam.
Hi, sis Cammille. How are you?
I'm good. You're looking good as always. How are you?
You look beautiful. Sis
Here we go
Tina.
again.
We love each other. That's what we do.
You
Um,
do.
yes, Sis Tina is not with us again today. She is out scoping for a location. I mean, we can't give away too many details, but she's out working on something else. And so Sis Camille and I are holding the fort today. Welcome if you're joining us. It is the 16th of November. It's a Saturday. That's why we are on here. Um, have you been? I haven't seen you in person in a while. I know you're very busy. Tell
And
us what
so
you've
you
been up
are.
to. Hmm.
Yeah, we miss you, Sis Tina, and thank you so much for working so hard. I've been okay. There's so many things that is going on as always. And allow me to share. I know we're going to ask some highlights because that's how we usually ask the show. So sorry if I'm running up ahead. Um, I think one of the highlight of this week, Sis Sam, I was able to go out with some sisters also. We were able to catch up with some lunch. And one of them is actually also studying right now
Nice.
in classes. So yeah, and I think just the last final classes that we are opening this year. So and yeah, that's practically the highlight of my week. How's yours?
Good. Actually, good thing you mentioned the class opening or what we call the center opening at Zion Christian Mission Center. We're gonna get to that later on because we're doing the last one for the year. So if you have any interest in studying at Zion Christian Mission Center for this year anyway, this would be your last chance to register and check out what all this stuff is about. For me, gosh, I can't say I had like one single highlight moment, but I'm just, riveted by what's happening over in South Korea, which is our big topic for today. We witnessed a protest rally yesterday that happened in South Korea, of course, with the venue cancellation that happened for the 110,000 graduation, which took place in October 30. Our last episode was about that, how, Gyeonggi Province and Gyeonggi Tourism Organization decided to cancel the venue the day of, really, because we had that venue, which is the Imjinggak Peace Nuri Park in Paju City. We had reserved that
Mm.
for the 29th all the way to the 31st of October, and we were told on the 29th.
Evening, right?
Actually, we're getting more details as we get into, the story. And from what I hear, they were told like mid-morning, but they
Oh,
were told
still
through
the
a
day
piece
before.
of paper. They were told through a piece of paper, just a notice that, we have decided that this event will not be pushing through. And in Zion Christian Mission Center, we pretty much prepare for this graduation all year because we know now that during, a certain time of the year, there will be a big graduation. And this is an international event, really. It's not just us gathering for the graduation. We invite
Mm.
religious leaders from all over the world, dignitaries, people travel in the thousands to be part of this event. And there was even an element of, dialoguing with these different religious leaders. And so, really, it's not just a simple graduation, it is a huge international event. And it was, yeah,
Yeah.
so much prep. Over 10,000 people involved in setting up the event and preparing for it. And you can just imagine the heartbreak, which I think was something that became clearer to us as we
Mhm.
watched the rally. Did you watch it?
I was able to catch up some few snippets, but
Yeah.
well, as you were talking, like 10,000 people organizing, because it's not a small scale, right, si Sam? There's 100,000. We're talking about 100,000 graduates
Yeah.
who's flying in from different parts of the world, like what we have discussed run about last week. People really did a lot of sacrifice. They had to temporarily not go to their jobs, just to fly in all over from the different parts of the world. So yeah, that must really be painful.
Yeah. What were
No.
your thoughts though while you were watching this rally? First of all, about 30,000 members of New Heaven, New Earth gathered right in front of the office building of, Gyeonggi province. That was the location. And I think they were there for about 2 hours,
Mm,
just basically protesting, the event that happened. But also, I think I want to clarify that we weren't there just to protest what had happened to us, but we were there to protest religious persecution in general,
right, right.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, if I may share, offline earlier, I was sharing about during my college days, I was like, okay, let's do this. And every time we would go to, protest just for cause, it's really, I would say, very disorganized. And
Mm.
people are just like shouting. Sometimes the intentions are not clear, but we are doing this not just to make some noise or just for the sake of doing it. And when I was watching, it's very, very orderly. I like, are they, is this really a protest? People are shouting for not just anything, but it really is something that because this happened, then we want everything to be clear. This is again, we're standing up for the religious organizations as well and religious persecution. Because this is not supposed to be something that's happening, right?
Right, right. In a democratic country in 2024, where the Constitution clearly states that every person is afforded religious freedom, there should be separation of church and state. None of these things seemed to have applied
Mm,
to New Heaven, New Earth, during this event and how it was canceled the night before and the day of, rather, and all that stuff. Um, and I think, for those of you who didn't watch it, can we get the
mm.
footage up, please, just so we have again the visuals. So this is what it looked like. And it's quite cold in Korea now.
It
So
must
even
be,
if
no?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, even if this was like smack in the middle of the day, everyone being out in very cold weather, again looking very, very organized and orderly, which I think is what we have come to expect now when we have an event for New Heaven, New Earth.
Mm.
People screaming at the top of their lungs, and you can see how, like, you can hear their voices were becoming hoarse already just because they were shouting so much.
In the middle of
um
the cold day.
yes, that too. And basically just crying foul about what had happened, but also how this is even happening in a democratic country. How, yes, for this particular event, it seems like New Heaven, New Earth was singled out because,
Mm,
again, if you watched our prior episode, we talked about how, despite um, the excuse that was given, which was, oh, they were concerned that maybe this will um, like agitate North
yeah.
Korean group, to um, have their activities on that day as well. Despite that reason, everything else that was planned in that venue for that day, they all happened as planned. It was only
Mm,
this, graduation for New Heaven, New Earth that was canceled. So
right.
basically, we're just saying, like, this is not cool. It's not supposed to happen. What we would like is a formal apology,
Okay.
from Gyeonggi Province, from Gyeonggi Tourism Organization, and also just compensation for the financial loss. I'm actually surprised that that hasn't happened yet because we're talking something like $7 million that went into planning this event. And for them to have not offered that yet is a little surprising to me.
Mhm. And we're not just talking about the $7 million because when I was watching this, I wasn't there, si Sam, but then people from all over the world flew in, right? So I think this
Yes.
rally is also not just for the people who are here, but even also for different religious organizations who flew in, brothers and sisters who were like, oh my gosh, they spent their time, their money. And at the end of the day, on the lighter note, what I heard, I think we read also in the last comment that even all this happened during the event during the day when we had to all move out from different locations to another new location, everyone was still having happy spirits. So I
Mm.
think like wow, even this rally afterwards, I think that's really where all this will come to play. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I was there during the graduation. If we can look at the graduation footage to what we see now, like, in the highlight videos and whatnot, this is in the parang backup location of the graduation, which was Cheongju Church of New Heaven,
Mm,
New Earth. This is not the original venue. Obviously, we're supposed to have it outdoors in a park. But yeah, I mean, all the graduates were very happy to be there. This
mm.
graduation is a milestone event and like a huge moment if you are graduating, having understood
Ah,
now, the revealed word and where we are in the plan of God and what it means to actually graduate and all of those things. So I think it was very difficult for anything to really crush that
mm,
excitement. But was it disappointing? Absolutely. There were
or-
people, who set aside money in order to travel. They had to put businesses on hold or, work or school or whatever it was. There was a lot of sacrifice that went into this so that these people could attend the event. And just, the situation of like being so excited to travel to this country and attend this event and then feeling like you're being rejected or not being welcomed. Which was another thing that also came up during the rally was like, South Korea being, with the K wave and all that, and being known to be like so advanced and whatever. But then how is this happening in a country
mm.
like that? It's a bit of an embarrassment, really.
Right, right.
So I do hope that, Gyeonggi Province and Gyeonggi Tourism Organization will take the necessary steps to, really express their regrets
Mm.
and apologize for
And
for this.
and that has still happened yet, no? We're still waiting for the official response.
To my knowledge, I don't think so. I don't see anything in the news about them responding to this.
Mm.
Um, gosh, I hope that, I hope no response is not the response because, in the rally, they were also saying like until we, get a response or this gets resolved, like New Heaven, New Earth is not going to stop,
Mm.
because we will be doing these events continuously and we cannot deal with something like this all the time.
Speaking of stops, Sisa, may I share
Yes.
this
Yeah.
this footage that we're showing right now? It started from the light. Earlier on, they were showing their video was showing. It started very small. I think they started in just really a handful of
Yeah.
learners. Whenever I watch this, I really cry. It's like
Oh, are you crying now?
later. Later. Yeah, it started and they didn't have any place. I think they started out in this small mountain and only a handful of people are studying the word, and then it just grew and grew and grew, and now we're in 100,000. We're talking about 100. And whose work is this? Like, if God is not here, how can even something that needs to be prepared for a year, we were able to transition over how 24 hours,
Yep. Yep.
right?
Yep.
So yeah,
No,
God's
you're
work.
absolutely right. If you're seeing the Zion Christian Mission Center graduation for the first time and you're seeing this is not how it started. You're right.
Mhm.
It started out with a handful of graduates. The class picture looked like a group photo, of
Mm,
like a barkada or something like that. And now it has grown to this. I mean, sure, organizations in the world grow all the time. But this is, I mean, we're just getting started, I think, with the 100,000 graduations. We're only on our fourth year.
fourth year. Mm,
I think we're just gonna keep growing and who knows how much bigger these events are gonna get.
right.
It's absolutely amazing. But,
And
again, really the only way that you could be fully on board with that kind of sentiment is if you actually hear the teaching,
study.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, don't go by how big the events are. I mean, that's just part of it, right?
Yeah. It happened first during pandemic, right? So imagine people are locked up in their homes, yet after we were allowed to go out, this is the fruit, this is the result, the first 100,000 graduation,
You're
right?
right. You're right. You know what? And it's ironic because I think when the pandemic hit, because before that time, all of our classes were happening on site. The
Mm-hmm.
online element was really something that was brought about the pandemic. And I think a lot of people thought, well, okay, I think this will now put an end to, New Heaven, New Earth, and Zion Christian Mission Center, they won't be able to teach these classes anymore. But you know what? No, I think we thrived during that time. Things were able to be more accessible for a lot of people all over the world. And you're right, this is where we are now. And we can get to talking about those classes. Actually, we just wanted to give you guys an update on, yes, since the venue cancellation of the 110,000 graduation, we are now officially protesting about this to the government bodies that were involved in making that decision, and we are not going to stop until this gets resolved and we get a formal apology and we get compensated for the financial expenses that went into a huge international event.
Right.
Let's talk about the center opening, Sis
Yeah.
Cammille.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sis Cammille, you're very hands-on and involved in this last center opening for Zion Christian Mission Center, correct?
Yes, and because it's the last one, it's not only myself. There's really a lot of alumni who are involved here. There's just a lot of things going on, so we really need a lot of force to make this happen. And so we have started with admitting students in this final chance for everyone to be on board this coming year. Because at the moment, we are in the process where we are accepting students. But if I may explain a little bit how the process is going to happen for everyone who's
Please.
interested. So it might sound a bit of intimidating because it's an 8-month course, right? And for us to be able to check how is the classes going on, then you can first attend 4 classes. So that's the preliminary classes. And then after that, you are going to advance to another level, which is the warm-up classes. We call it warm-up classes to really more, warm up yourselves. And then after that, that's where we're going to be officially enrolled. So it's a school.
Okay.
It's practically, because ZCMC is a theology school. It's not just a Bible study wherein, I would just join and then I would just, stop if I don't feel like joining anymore. But that's the reason why we are encouraging everyone to at least try, to give it a try.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I had a question for you. I promise I have a question. I'm just having like no, because I mean, I guess I just
Not
have
not math, huh?
no.
No math. Please don't ask math questions. I'm kidding.
The first good news is that yes, there are no mathematical questions
Okay, thank you.
during the Zion Christian Mission Center theology course. But you're right. I think a lot of people hear that yes, it's a full-on course, 6 to 8 months to finish, and then they're just like, "Ooh, I don't know about that." But I just feel like, you know what? If we are serious about our faith, which we should be, because why are we even here? It's so that we can be sure about our salvation, because we want to secure blessings that can only come from God. Maybe it's a good way for you to kind of examine, like, okay, why am I practicing this faith in the first place, right? And so if those are the answers that you come to, then you should, for me anyway, the reason why I wasn't so turned off, I suppose, by the length of this course was that I felt like, you know what, that is time I can invest in something like my eternity. Okay.
Amen.
I have given more time to things that will maybe temporarily guarantee me things like a job or, possibly wealth. Yung mga ganon, like, things of the world. But if we're talking about things of, yes, what my eternity is going to look like, working out my salvation, as the Bible says, then what is 8 months? I have given more time to things that don't really matter in the long run. So there's that. What are some common questions that you get asked about studying at Zion Christian Mission Center?
Right. And if I may just add on what you said, si Sam, because everything that we have comes from God. I mean, we're not disregarding the fact that we have to work, we can do this, we can do that. But 8 months, ano nang date ngayon? It's already November.
Yep.
It was just started 2024 and now it's the end of the year. So 8 months would just like, whew, it will
You're
just
right.
by so fast. Before you know it, it's like, okay, 8 months is done. And then but just to answer the question, some FAQs that we would receive is, number one, if we're going to have graduation, which is
Mm.
obviously the reason why we're showing right now. Number one, because we are currently physically located in the Philippines, then the graduation takes place in a venue where every year, I believe it changes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
last time we had one in Manila. And then after that, we can also get the chance to have this graduation from all over other brothers and sisters learning the same word in the different parts of the world. And that's where everyone would gather and, meet our brothers and sisters. And yes, so there's graduation, definitely. When we have graduation, normally what do we receive in graduation? We also receive certificates. So
Right, like
it's
a
their
diploma.
certificate, a diploma. So because this is a theology school rather, yes, there's also a certificate. And some would also ask, okay, so what's next after the graduation? What's next after studying? The rest is going to be history. Like for us today, we are alumni, right? So
Mm-hmm.
because we have perceived the importance of the word, we have perceived life in eternity after all this, being able to understand the revealed word. I think there's just hundreds of thousands of opportunities. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, whichever part of the world you may be, there's a lot of work. Like, salvation is a big work. And so that's number two. Their certificate, yes. Number three is it's free. Okay.
Yes, and we can't like we say this all the time. Like this is absolutely free, you guys.
Mhm. Yes. And it's priceless. That's why we cannot put any cost here, not even millions, 100 millions. And in
Mm-hmm.
scripture also in Revelation chapter 22, verse 17, it also says there that we can come and get the free of life with no
Right.
cost. So no
Right, right.
cost, zero, zero, just your time, just your time.
In case we're not emphasizing enough, yes, this
Mhm.
is absolutely free. I know that this is already ongoing as we're speaking, right? There are people who are already coming to Zion Christian Mission Center study. What kind of feedback are you getting from them?
I'm gonna cry now. Just kidding.
You're
No, because
such
yes,
a crybaby, I swear.
I
Yeah.
miss Tina because she's also a crybaby. You have to
Yeah, yeah,
make
yeah.
the two of us stop crying all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think with all the huge work that's going on, honestly speaking, oh no, I'm gonna really cry.
It's
Yeah,
okay. It's okay.
no, no, no.
This is a safe place
Saving
for
that.
tears.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
just the two of us, si
Yeah.
Sam. Yeah, because even for us when we were learning as students, when we realize how beautiful the word is, that you can really put down anything that you can do. I remember when I was studying, my teacher told me, okay, we're gonna adjust the class and it's going to happen 10 a.m. And I was like, wait, this is my work hour. How can my work get affected with Bible study? And I was like, okay, so who's the boss? Is the boss the physical human boss or is my boss God? And then that's
Oh.
where you realize that, okay, who's going to adjust? Is it myself or should I make God adjust with my schedule? And someone really shared something that really stuck to me. She's physically actually not doing okay. She is suffering from a terminal illness. And when
Mhm.
she shared what her realization during the class, she said, you know what? I am really having a hard time joining classes. It's her early morning. It's very hard for me to get up. It's very difficult for me to even put myself here in the Zoom call. But every time I would hear the word, it really heals me. It really
Mm.
changes just my whole day. And I want to complete this course until the end. So will you please help me? I was like, okay, let's do this. And then her mother was also joining with her. So
Mm.
mother and daughter in they're logged in different Zoom calls. But isn't it amazing? Like,
That's
you know,
beautiful.
yeah, it is so much. So and a lot
I
more.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's absolutely you really see, all kinds of people, all kinds of circumstances, all the challenges that people overcome just so they can hear what we call the revealed word for the New Testament. And, it makes us reflect on ourselves too, because sometimes, even if we have graduated from Zion Christian Mission Center and now we are part of the church and, we are working in different capacities to make this known to a lot of people, we're still human and we have our slacker moments and, moments of not being able to overcome sometimes
Mm.
maybe. And just to see like how some people have really serious circumstances to overcome. I mean, it's a good reflection for us too.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I'm sure you had a lot to overcome during your learning years as well, si Sam.
I mean, we were in the thick of the pandemic, and if anything, I think it saved us from, boredom, going insane or freaking out, not knowing like where is this pandemic
Mm,
leading to, just because I think, again, when you understand the plan of God, you know how things are going to end or what God has in store for you. Um, it really kind of gives you a paradigm shift on the world.
right.
And, so it was very, very inspiring, I think, to have that realization during the pandemic.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a different set of challenges now that we are faced with. Now that we are not in the pandemic, like there's so many distractions now in the
Back to
world.
regular programming.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yes.
Mhm.
But again, this is our last opening for the year. Of course,
Mhm.
there will be more, but
Next
for
year.
the year, this is the last one, and you have called it Yes Vember.
Yes, yes, Vember. So
Yeah.
imagine like giving this as a coupon to, enroll to something that you can get next year. And we're going to finish up around August, September, and who knows, we can see each other during graduation next year again.
Mm-hmm. Let's say hi to some people who are watching us right
Mm.
now. We have Anna May Pacheco who is watching from Hinigaran. That's in Negros Occidental.
Ooh.
Hinigaran is, I guess we can talk more about this in the future, but there are a lot of pieceworks that are happening there because we do have an instructor who's there and making the revealed word more accessible to a lot of people. And I believe that that is an area that we can watch for. So everyone in Hinigaran, hello.
Hello.
Sir Chris Mar, how are you? He loves reading the comments. Dave Nathan Blanco says, in Zion Christian Mission Center, I found the evidence on how God created his people in his own image and likeness. And he says, thank you to Zion Christian Mission Center. Who else?
Wow.
Who else would you like to say hi to here?
I can't see the comments right now. I'm so sorry. But hi to everyone. I'm I'm working on my blind sign now. Sorry. Uh, yeah. And also, I just want to share that we had a pastors gathering
Oh, on
yesterday.
the 50th. Oh, yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you to all the pastors who have joined in. They're so wow. It's just so amazing. You know how pastors could really be busy taking care of the congregation and all that. But yesterday, everyone just gathered talking about peace because this is also
Mm,
one of the peace work that we're doing to just get everyone and have some dialogues, not to fight. This is the correct doctrines, yours is not, but just really understanding and maybe asking questions about not with your congregation, not with your church, but really being centralized on the word, on the Bible.
yeah.
So, yeah. And it's all happening all over the different parts of the Philippines, gathering pastors and also seminars, of course, which are happening,
Let's
you
talk
know.
about that.
Mm.
Actually, this would be a good time to talk about it. This is already ongoing. We started, I think, on the 12th of this month, and
Mhm.
we're doing it all the way to the 18th, and they're happening in different parts of the country. Please go to New Heaven, New Earth PH on Facebook to check where, whether the seminar is happening in your area, what time, which venue in particular. But this one is called The Secrets of the End Times Revealed, because what New Heaven, New Earth, which is the church that operates Zion Christian Mission Center, what New Heaven, New Earth, or Shincheonji Church of Jesus is saying is that the prophecies that are recorded in the book of Revelation, they are fulfilling today. There is an explanation now on how we should understand these prophecies, what they really mean, and what is the reality that actually has manifested now in the world according to those prophecies. So that is actually what you learn at Zion Christian Mission Center. We start by breaking down the language, and then we go into the storylines of the Bible, how, yeah, these events are actually all connected to this day. This has
Today,
something to do with me
yes,
today. As a believer,
say,
we have to know how God has been working. How have the people fared in this work of God? Why is the work of God not done yet? All of that explained. And then the finale of the study is the book of Revelation. We take it verse by verse with the
mm,
vocabulary that we have gained now in studying at Zion Christian Mission Center. We are able to understand. And then we also show you the reality that has fulfilled. It is absolutely mind blowing. And again, it's free. So, in case you're not maybe too keen on committing to the whole thing, we do these seminars,
Mm.
and everyone is welcome. You don't even have to be a Christian. Maybe you are not even a believer at this point, but you're just curious about the Bible. And who isn't? I mean, end times, Revelation, like that's all fascinating stuff. So the
Yeah,
Bible seminars are, of course, still free.
nothing
Please
to
check. Yeah.
to lose. Yeah, when you were sharing that perception, Sis Sam, that the
Mhm.
end times are happening right now, it just made me realize, like for example, because from us we have studied the word, we have learned this, ABCs, these vocabularies. But for someone, I think it could be like, oh, what's happening? It could be, having this impact of intimidation, like what's happening, end
Oh,
times and all.
yeah.
I shared last time because every time before my grandmother would talk about Revelation, she would always scare me. If you don't change, in Revelation, this is going to happen. You're going to be raptured in
Oh,
the and I honestly I had a lot of pushback learning Revelation because it for me is something like I have to avoid because I wasn't
no.
doing
Yeah.
well in my life back then.
Right.
But then I think just like what you said, it has to do something with me in the time of the first coming, if we could just go a little bit about that, in the time where Jesus was there, where even one of the brothers shared earlier, the evidences are there right in front of their eyes. But because of the things that were in their thoughts, it was kind of difficult to grasp the whole fulfillment of what was happening. And so
Right.
same as today. Because like for me, oh my gosh, there's going to be like wars and all that. No way. But then when you come to learn the whole or the ultimate purpose of God, why Revelation is fulfilling right now. It's not just all those things that we have learned before, but we have to unlearn them so that we could learn what God really wants to give to each one of us. And that's the importance of this Bible seminar, really hearing them, not just leaving ourselves in darkness, but really coming to understand. Because the wisdom, it will not come from any man. It will really come from God who promised all this. So
Mhm.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Yeah. Can't there I have nothing to add to that. But yes, please go to New Heaven, New Earth PH on Facebook. There is a QR code that you can scan because we would like for you to register. But again, this is open to everybody. If you're in the area, please check the dates. We'd love to see you there. How do people enroll in this last center opening of Zion Christian Mission Center, Sis Camille?
Right. There are different opportunities or different ways on how to. I believe the QR code or the link
Oh,
will
there it
also be
is.
flashed later on.
Yeah.
But a lot of other alumni are also sharing some links and all those registration forms. So they can just click it and they could ask question even before they could register in the form. So for this upcoming Yes Member Center, these are, as always, the classes that are being open. So we have for non-pastors, and that's us. And also for the non-pastors, which will have mostly other questions and other needs as well. So we also are opening for pastors class. And here,
Mhm.
also for the youth, I believe it's 13 to 17
Correct.
years for the students.
Yeah.
Mhm. And also for the international students, I believe some of our international students are also tuning in right now. So hello, our dear
Hi.
international family. Yes, so international for and that is taught in English, and also for SPS, all this absolutely free. This is our LMS. So this is our learning management system where typically it will also require hundreds of thousands. One student, by the way, Sis Sam, she said, or he said rather, when I tried to enroll to a theology school, it will cost me 50,000 pesos.
For the
So
whole
he for the whole
course.
course. And here
Wow.
you're going to learn Genesis to Revelation, again from ABC up to the last. We are not going to ask anything. Just
Yeah.
our hearts and our time. So yeah.
And, as Sis Camille said, you have a period where you get to hear some very basic lessons and kind of feel it out for yourself. Like, okay, does this strike true? Is this something that I think I'd like to hear out? You don't enroll and then, like, there's no getting out for, like, 8 months. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a trial period. And then if you think this is up your alley, then yes, we'd love for you to sign up. Again, this is something that we have to decide for ourselves really. Nobody can make that decision for us. Zion Christian Mission Center is just all about making known that this option is available for you. And honestly, I cannot think of a better deal. Again, it's absolutely free. There are so many options. It's convenient. You can do it online. And if you want to invite your friends and family to do it with you, why not?
Why
I
not?
cannot,
Mhm.
yeah, I cannot think of a better bonding experience. Okay, so um we started off with, okay, let's talk about the New Heaven, New Earth
Oh,
open. Okay, of course, the open
oh.
worship service. Okay. Another way to really get a taste of, what it is that we preach at New Heaven, New Earth is the open worship service. We do this twice a week, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. On Sundays, we're on at 10 a.m. And then there's a repeat service at 7 p.m. in the evening as well. This all happens on Zoom. And you just have to join us on the call and check out how we pray,
Mhm.
how we understand the word of God, how we worship. And we'd love to see you there too. So there's one happening tomorrow at 10
Mhm.
a.m. Again, you can find the details on the New Heaven, New Earth PH Facebook page.
And you're
So
hosting, right? You are
I
hosting, and
am.
the instructors are really preparing the word, the strength where we could get the whole for the whole week. I really love the preaching here, the sermons here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the chance to pray together. It's a matter of 1 hour, right? And
hmm
again, you just have to log into Zoom call, and you can just meet brothers and sisters. And if we have questions after the sermons or after the word that is being shared there, I believe there are also some breakout rooms to that are
Yes.
available, right?
Yes, yes. So we invite those of you who are already studying in Zion Christian Mission Center as well. If you'd like a little supplementary extra something, please join us. And again, even if you're not studying, if you're not part of this church yet, but you're curious and just want to join us for a night, this is it. Please
Mhm.
join us. Okay.
Yeah.
So, again, this episode was about just giving you updates on what is happening with Zion Christian Mission Center. I have a feeling we are not done talking about the venue cancellation of the
Yeah.
110,000 graduation. This is, we have yet to see how this story is going to end. We'll make sure to update you on that. And we will always be talking about Zion Christian Mission Center, of course. And if you guys want us to talk about anything, you can write to us. We have an email address, bestnewseverpodcast@gmail.com. And anything else, Sis Camille, before we say goodbye?
I think I've talked a lot also, but I'm looking forward to see you, si Sam, tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, in the
If you're
seminar.
going to the
So
one in Manila, we're going to be there.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So we'll see you
So
there.
please, yeah, please check out the details. And thank you for joining us today. We are live every Saturday on the Zion Christian Mission Center Facebook page. And so we hope to see you again next week. Ooh, everyone, please take care.
Typhoon.
Weather forecast right now is,
Ah,
there is possibly a super typhoon that is going to make landfall soon. So please prepare for that, and everybody be safe. We'll be praying for all of you, and we hope to see you again next Saturday. Okay,
yeah. Thank
that's
you.
it. That's a wrap. Bye, guys.
Bye. See you next week.